Gotta make this all the way up. There we go. Start live video. All right. Woo! Welcome everybody, this is Monarch with the rawfoodworld.com. Let's check this out. Welcome everybody, welcome. Just fixing my hair a bit right now. All right, so here we are, once again, Tuesday night, the rawfoodworld.com, Matt Monarch, ready to rock the house, like you wouldn't believe. Everything is good to go. You can ask your questions either here on Instagram, Facebook Live, what's up, Kiki? Or on news.therawfoodworld.com/live. Boom. Any questions, or should I just like dive in? Well, this is about raw food. Been a raw food pioneer here for 20 years, and I've literally met thousands and thousands of people who've healed from all sorts of germ diseases from simply improving their dietary lifestyle, not even necessarily needing to go 100% raw. All right, welcome everybody. I need to get YouTube live streaming back. What's up with this? Okay. Someone says, what do you think about Dr. Aris Latam? He's also another raw food pioneer. I've met him a few times at some festivals. He seems like a good guy. I don't know exactly what he teaches and stuff like that. I know he's a chef, right? Seems like a good guy. All right. The topic tonight, in case people aren't going to be asking me questions, is staying healed from disease. How to stay healed once you've already healed from a disease. Anybody got questions before I dive in? Because once I start talking, I just don't stop. Yes, okay. So we're getting, how do you change your diet? How do you detox? Yes, I'm drinking cucumber juice. I did carrot juice earlier today already. I'm slowly building up. Right now I'm at 16 ounces a day. I overdid it when I got really excited about it. Okay, so how do you detox? Before we get into staying healed from disease, everybody thinks that they know what detox is. They think they could take a cleanse or a pill or something like that. Detox is when you eliminate something from your intake that's unhealthy permanently. And then you go through withdrawals. For example, if a person has been drinking coffee for 20 years and they stop, they start to get the shakes, they start to get the headache, they start to get the coffee breath. This is going through withdrawals, which is just a fancy name. Detoxification is just a fancy name for going through withdrawals. So pretty much eliminate something from your intake that's not healthy, and then you will detox. Sugar would work. That would be a crazy detox. I need help rebuilding my microbiome. Nothing seems to work. So one of the biggest things in the health movement right now is microbiome. So what happens is everybody thinks that they have a microbiome issue because of symptoms that experts state that they are a cause of the microbiome being depleted or something like that. Why do you think that you need help rebuilding your microbiome, and why do you think nothing's working? Because the microbiome, all it does is it feeds off of fiber. So if you eat salads every day, then you're going to be getting your microbiome. Like, they're gonna feed off of that like crazy. Raw food is a major way. Other things are, it's just about eating consistently healthy foods with fiber. If you stop eating these foods, then the microbiome's not gonna have anything good to eat off of. They eat that fiber, and then they produce short-chain fatty acids that help protect the gut and things like this. So it's not about taking something, it's about eating healthy, eating habits on an ongoing basis is what's key here for the microbiome. Probiotics are good, but if you're gonna like eat like crap and then take probiotics, they're not gonna survive because they have nothing to feed off of that is beneficial. But generally, a lot of this is based off of symptoms. Do you have proof that you, okay. I have a lot of digestive, I knew this was gonna be the case. I just hit the wrong. Okay, so I have a lot of digestive upset, very sensitive. I was hospitalized and had heavy antibiotics and haven't been the same. I eat really well. Everybody has digestive upsets. So your microbiome is probably fine. I get digestive upsets. I'm a raw food eater. You don't want to be around me sometimes. It's crazy. With the amount of, anyway, we won't go into that right now. But what I'm saying is we all get digestive upsets. This is what the human body is. We're living in a world that is toxic, and gas is absolutely normal. It's you can't avoid gas no matter what you do. I tried to do this for 10 years on the perfect diet. What happens is when you eat food, your digestion is the process that the food goes through. Now, through that digestive process, fermentation happens. And fermentation creates gas, carbonic gas, like CO2 and things like this. You can't avoid it. It's impossible. We have gas all throughout the system. So when you, and the more dense and unhealthy your diet is, the more gas is created. And your cells kind of like have the potential to suck that up if you look at the blood gas theory. And what happens is when you improve your diet consistently, less gas is created through the digestion, and then so there's less pressure, and now all of a sudden detox happens through gas also. So digestive upsets is normal. It's completely normal. And if you're eating healthy, your microbiome should be intact. What might help is an enema or a colonic. Like maybe there's a lot of waste buildup or something like this, but this is how the gut bacteria works, and you're probably fine. It's like sometimes we freak out about digestive discomfort. Trust me, I've been through this. Because we want to feel really good around people, we want to look our best, we don't want to be tired, we don't want to be low energy and stuff like this. So we freak out. It's almost like more mental. It's kind of like this. I do yoga, right? And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting to this point where I have to do this crazy hard move, and it's still like 3 steps ahead, but then I start like not wanting to do it, and I get like, I'm like bringing the future closer to where it is before it needs to be there. So what I try to do is I like don't even think about that really hard yoga move until I'm actually in it, and then when I'm actually in it, it's not that bad if I like stay in the present moment. So it's the same thing with this digestive discomfort. We go into mental mayhem about it. It's almost like we start crying, and then this actually creates digestive discomfort because of the cortisol levels from stress and all these other things. So we just gotta like relax. about everything. Like, we don't have to freak out. The body is meant to go through these things. So listen to this. So the biggest thing right now in the movement, it's big to hear. I'm waiting for it to die out already. Leaky gut and microbiome. Like, come on, just like let it fall away already. We've been dealing with this for 5 years now. This is like the top. Everyone has leaky gut and probiotic issues. It's like what the natural doctors are talking about, so everybody freaks out about it. And so someone's recommending this woman, maybe you can try the product. I'm not going to mention the product name, just to begin to get you back on track. It seals the tight junctions in the gut to heal leaky gut symptoms. It's so funny. It's like the natural doctors create disease, and then they supply you the placebo to heal it. Anyway. Sometimes I'm a little ruthless, I know. Even when food combining well, I fart more on raw foods than cooked. That's because you're creating less gas with the food you're eating, and now you're detoxing gas from the poor foods. It's like this whole complex system. It's in my book, Raw Success. And, you know, this is a theory, but the concept is going through, okay, check this out. When you drink coffee for 20 years, you are not eating anything solid. This is liquid. And when it goes in the system, it turns into chemicals, it combusts, all sorts of chemical reactions happen, and your cells take up on this gases and chemical, whatever is happening. When you go through withdrawals of coffee, you get crazy gas, you smell, you get coffee breath, you get the headaches and shakes. This is going through withdrawals, but there's no solid feces in regards to eliminating coffee, cigarettes, alcohol. This is all liquid. What is this coming into the system as? Why are you going through withdrawals when you never ate one thing? It's a chemical that's going through withdrawals. It's gases and stuff like this coming out of your system. So if you make improvements, if you think your digestion is going to get better, no, you're going to stink like hell, dude. Like coffee stuff coming out. But then you stick at it and you feel better and better and better and better. You don't need stimulation. You get natural energy. And it's like the most amazing thing ever. Ever. You start to feel better than you ever felt. But then it can become monotonous. You forget how good you feel. And then you might go do something else. And then like you complain about the digestive discomfort. The digestive discomfort is fear. Sometimes I'm sitting there at night and my stomach's out to here. I've learned over 10 to 15 years of going through madness that you don't need to freak out about it. I was addicted to enemas for 10, 12, 13, 14 years due to this one thing that the digestive discomfort you're going through right now. I wanted to feel good all the time. And then I hurt myself, not in a bad way, well, whatever, and I stopped. And that was very difficult to get over, but then I did. But, so what I'm trying to, someone's saying, what is it that heals leaky gut? Your mind. It doesn't even exist, leaky gut. Okay, fine, whatever. We're gonna get into the placebo effect very soon when we talk about staying healed from disease. Everybody has leaky gut because that's what people are talking about today. Before, nobody had leaky gut because nobody talked about it. It's a freaking joke. Same with the microbiome crap. You freak out about your microbiome. You brush your teeth, the bacteria come back in 3 seconds. If you're eating salads every day, which is like the healthiest food you can eat, your microbiome is flourishing like you wouldn't believe. Studies show that there was a study where there was someone eating, I think it might have been beans, because it's a digestive resistant starch, and that creates crazy amounts of beneficial bacteria. They would eat this, and they would have the beneficial bacteria would flourish, and then when they stopped, it wouldn't be doing that. It's all about what environment you create will create the type of bacteria that is in your system. The pathogenic bacteria, if you're like eating In-N-Out Burger, McDonald's, Taco Bell, maybe that piece of lettuce and tomato saving you for getting good beneficial bacteria. that could be the situation here. So that would create a different kind of bacteria, beneficial bacteria. There's actually studies showing that different bacteria flourish with different diets that a person has. But the best thing that you could do is salads. Eat salads every single day. I'm in a rough, be careful everybody, I'm in one of these like, tell it how Matt thinks it is deal today. Okay. What is up with this new carnivore diet? I don't know what that is. I like it. It gives me hope. Be relentless. Awesome. I've been getting people like this lately. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into, the main thing is to stay calm. Just like enjoy your life. Okay. I love it when you're in that mood. Thank you, Yolani. Chill pill time. No chill pills. Okay, so the name of the product that heals leaky gut, dude, it's not even worth it, dude. I'm not gonna do it. I don't even know what it was. I'll just say it, just so maybe it will help you with your mind. Where's this woman? It might even be an MLM. Let's look. I'm going back. I'm going back. Back. Oh man, I can't find it. I think it was like robust or something. Anyway, as I find it, and I'll mention it, Laura Logano, who's a CBD expert, says CBD oil can close those junctions. Sunflower lecithin is my new favorite product. I literally take it by the spoonful. My body just wants it. It's phosphorus. We're gonna go into more stuff actually. I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Restore. And then on top of that, they say, take aloe juice, 30 minutes on an empty stomach before meals, organic blueberries, incredible in their prebiotic, probiotic, and consuming a pint a day can make a big difference. Definitely digestive enzymes with any cooked or gourmet raw foods as well. That's probably from a YouTuber. Okay. Coleslaw has vitamin U, somebody says. Okay, so we've been talking about remember we were talking about the complete protein. I don't know if I should go into this now. We should do staying healed from disease. Okay, remember we were talking about the complete protein myth and I debunked it. I have a new video coming out next week with that. If you were to look at the breakdown of all the amino acids, when you break them down to the molecular structure, atoms, you have carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. And then for 4 of them, there's a sulfur and an iodine. So when you take, okay, so real quickly about this complete protein. Yes, meat from animal, and the animal is a complete protein. But so am I. I'm a complete protein and so are you. The animal became a complete protein based off the vegetation that they ate. You don't need a complete protein in the beginning phases to become a complete protein. The body can't even accept a complete protein. It doesn't work that way. What happens is when it goes through digestion, the chyme enters into the small intestines, and then in the small intestines, the microvilli take the molecules of that food, and then it gets sent to the liver into the bloodstream and through the hepatic vein, where it breaks down into their smallest atoms. Now we're talking just straight from molecule to atoms. We're talking hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, whatever that complete protein is made of. And then the liver takes it, catalogs all the atoms that come in, and then whatever the body needs at that time, it will take these atoms and create whatever it needs to create. It could be amino acids, and it could be completely different than the complete protein that you took. And in the process of eating meat, there's byproducts, uric acid. Now, I'm not against eating meat, but you don't want to overdo it like a lot of these people do, because it could result into issues in the long run, because uric acid causes all sorts of issues. Causes rheumatism in the muscles if you eat too much meat in the long run. Uric acid builds up in the kidneys, you get kidney stones, and then it gets absorbed in the muscles like a sponge. And then when it hits saturation point, they turn into like little crystals, and then they'll start causing rheumatism, sciatica, Bright disease, to where it's hurting your muscles. So I'm not against animal protein, but what we think is happening there is not happening. And we were talking about the reason why plant eaters have smaller muscles than meat eaters. It has nothing to do with nutrition. People who go take steroids have bigger muscles because there's something called nitrogen retention. Now, they have bigger muscles because of the excess nitrogen that they're intaking. It's called nitrogen retention. If you're taking in more nitrogen, it keeps your muscles in an anabolic state to where they're building for longer periods of time. Steroids are not nutrition, but it gets their muscles to grow bigger. Now, meat, chicken, fish, and beef, all the meat, is high in purines, which is loaded with nitrogen, and this is why they build muscles. And then on Google, if you look up what does purine mean, it states that upon oxidation, uric acid is formed. And when uric acid is formed, this is a byproduct that encumbers the body. And then on top of all this, I probably shouldn't have gone into this. The cooked meat isn't living foods. These atomic elements that we're intaking, that the liver needs to go and build up collagen for beautiful skin, for beautiful hair, for all these different things. We want living atoms. They're like magnetic. This is why vegetable juices are the best. Carrot juice has all of the atomic atoms needed to build every amino acid there is. If you were to drink 16 ounces a day, in mainstream science, I went to the USDA website and all the information pulled, every amino acid is taken care of. And you don't even need 32 ounces. It doesn't even work the way they're saying it, and carrot juice falls into that realm. But when you take the carrot juice, it goes straight into the small intestines. It's already in its atomic element form. There's no work that needs to be done in digestion. All of the nutrition is utilized to build amino acids and your collagen to make you look beautiful as heck. So seriously, 16 ounces, with this concept, maybe 8 ounces twice a day, so you can get some here and then some there. On an empty stomach, you want to do this. And then you're going to have all the nutrition you need for practically everything. So this whole thing that I've been studying now is vitamins. Also, this is where I don't want to lose people, but because the vitamin industry is huge. Vitamins all have molecular structures too, and the body really can't utilize a vitamin because when it goes into the system, it gets broken down into the smallest atomic elements, into the liver, it gets cataloged and sent to do what it needs to do. So I looked up, I have a spreadsheet right here. I will show it to you. I took the molecular structure of every single vitamin there is, and I put it right here. This is a future article at therawfoodworld.com. You might want to join our newsletter list. Vitamins, here you are. All right. So here's every single vitamin that there is. And here is the molecular structure of every single one of them. And then here, I broke down the molecular structure to how much carbon, how much everything is in it. So every vitamin, except for 3 of them, has carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and then half of them have nitrogen. So when you're drinking carrot juice, you're getting all of these in the perfect proportions for all the amino acids and the vitamins. Now, the interesting thing here is, I'm still doing some research, vitamin B12 is the most complex vitamin there is when it comes to its atomic structure. And the two atomic elements, in addition to these other ones that there are, is cobalamin. That's why methylcobalamin, cobalt, it comes from cobalt. That's why it's called cobalamin. And phosphorus. Now, I'm also doing research on phosphorus. This is insane. Where is this? Okay. This is my new favorite food. This is sunflower lecithin. TheRawFoodWorld.com. Now, my body loves it. Like, I could literally just take spoonfuls. This is really good for raw food recipes. It's the best thickener you can possibly imagine. You can make frostings and stuff like that, but who cares? Lecithin is organic phosphorus, which is part of the B12 complex. And the pineal gland has more phosphorus, lecithin, than any other organ in the body. Someone's Skyping me, whatever. I can't look right now. And it's a precursor to phospholipids, which are cell membranes, which helps absorption. This is like the fatty aspect. This like binds to the fat. This breaks, it's solid, fat soluble. This is like the best to read. Okay, there we go. It's a precursor to acetylcholine. It's important for our nerves. Phosphorus. Lecithin is organic phosphorus. And then I've just been doing research. I think I can talk about this. Semen contains 30% lecithin. And there's these old school books that say when men ejaculate that we draw lecithin from our pineal gland, from the nerve aspect, it's a very crucial element. And then he also goes on to say that the head of the sperm consists of lecithin, and the tail is like 30-something% lecithin. Crystal just writes, sunflower lecithin is great for producing breast milk. Anyway, and then there's these guys, I can't really, it's very vulgar, they're in these forums what they're writing, but they're saying that it was very clear and that nothing would work, and they started taking lecithin, and anyway, I don't have to go into that, but you get the picture. All I know is 2 times a day, I literally take a spoon before my meals, and I eat the stuff. It's the best. Anyway, I haven't even gotten to today's subject yet, and we're halfway done. So back to this whole entire vitamin thing. Everything doesn't work the way that we think it does. So I don't know if Kiki's still here, but we're about to go into this, how to stay healed from a disease. This helps replenish yourself, especially if you are having, coitus. And I think it's good for women also, if they're having coitus also. I'm trying to be professional here. Anyway. So moving along. Okay, so in our last 2 hangouts ago, someone said, what is the best food to keep away cancer once it's gone? So this is a cancer survivor who wants to keep their cancer gone. Okay, so there are so many other things that we should be focusing on, in my perspective, in order to stay healed from disease. Versus taking a food that's cancer fighting. Practically every food has that claim now. Every vegetable is anti-cancer of every superfood. Everything is anti-cancer. Okay, so first off, if somebody wants to stay healed from a disease, it'd be better to keep the main thing that we want to do we're going to talk about physical and spirit. We're going to talk about how to stay healed physically and spiritually, and this will actually help people if you have disease. These concepts will help you heal disease also, if you're trying to heal. So physically, we want to try to keep our diet clean. This works for everything that we're about to talk about. Someone's asking about what's the best foods for supplements or Crohn's. If someone's asking, would it kill me if I went and ate a hamburger and put me in the hospital? In the old days, I used to say that all the time. That's funny. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Been raw for 20 years, everybody. 100% raw vegan for 20 years. So the main thing is we want to eliminate the foods that are harmful to the human body. There's many diets out there today. They're claiming to get results. They're saying people are healing from disease, losing weight, such as the paleo diet, the ketogenic diet, the zone diet, the macrobiotic diet, the South Beach diet. The list goes on and on and on. And I've actually seen a lot of people do these diets, heal from disease and lose weight. And the reason why these diets have the potential to work is they all have one common denominator. They all eliminate certain foods from their diets completely without any exception whatsoever. And the crazy thing about it is, all those diets that I just mentioned eliminate the same exact foods. They eliminate the most harmful foods to the human body. So what are those? The most damaging foods to the human body are refined sugars and processed starches, which is bread, white pasta, all bread, bagels, pizza. That's like key. I just did an article explaining on exactly what this does in the human body, but I'll be here all night if we go into every last aspect. So it's more important what you don't eat than what you actually eat. You can eat all the cancer-fighting foods that you want on the planet, but if you're going to be going to fast food all the time, then the cancer-fighting foods aren't going to be doing that. It's more important what you don't eat than what you actually eat in order to heal from disease and to stay healed from disease. So that's one of the keys. We don't want to be looking for cancer-fighting foods, but we want to eliminate that. And when you make improvements in your diet, it could be so intense, the withdrawals, depending how crazy you go on your diet, enemas and colonics can actually help remove the old impactions of the waste and things like that, help with the withdrawals and stuff like that. Dr. Ann Wigmore and Dr. Norman Walker, back in the mid-1900s, helped heal thousands of people from all sorts of diseases. And they did this with a 3-step procedure. Nobody's ever had a higher success rate than these two doctors. They were raw food pioneers. They improved people's diets, usually by putting them on a raw food diet or in between. Give them enemas and colonics. This can actually save a person's life, as seen in these books, example after example. And if I was going to recommend a cancer-fighting food, since this person asked, it would be vegetable juice. Hey, Bonnie. Vegetable juices have those living atoms that we were talking about in the beginning of this hangout. The vegetable juices have the living atoms ready for the liver to build your collagen and make you beautiful. Help you heal from disease. All sorts of things. It is the best food, beauty secret you can possibly imagine is drinking vegetable juices. Carrot juice is out of control. It will cleanse your liver. Every once in a while, it depends, sometimes one of the issues we have is a lot of waste in our system, and we don't even realize that an enema and colonic can take care of all of that, but we're going to move on from that. I know a lot of people don't like that. So the 3 steps are cleansing the colon with water through enemas and colonics, vegetable juices, and eliminating refined sugars, processed starches, trans fatty acids, cow's milk. You could do goat's cheese, and you don't want to overdo the meat. Preferably 4 to 6 ounces max, 3 to 4 times a week. Or in the long run, you can run into uric acid issues. Anyway, so now that's kind of the physical aspects. Now we're going to go into the spiritual aspects of staying healed from disease. Now, in many cases, the spiritual aspects is even more important than the physical aspects in terms of healing. In some instances, it's not. For example, if someone has diabetes or high blood pressure, it's obvious that when a person comes to me and tells me they have diabetes, high blood pressure, or something like one of these kinds of issues, it's because of their diet. There's no other explanation. It means that you're eating way too much refined sugars and processed starches. As soon as you eliminate that, all of a sudden, the diabetes goes away. I've seen it happen multiple times. Someone says, how do you eliminate uric acid holistically? By stopping eating meat. Now, Norman Walker took thousands of urine analyses, and people who ate lots of meat, only 1/5 to 1/10 of the uric acid that should have come out came out based off of what they were eating, which shows that the muscles were absorbing it. That's one of the reasons why they get bigger muscles, but it also has to do with the nitrogen retention. But that's going to be at a long-term expense. I used to be lifting weights like crazy and eating 6 double-doubles. That's 12 hamburger patties in a day, from 2 for lunch, 2 for dinner, 2 for breakfast. My buddy Jason's on here, actually, I think, and he's proof of it from back in the day. So the key is to stop eating. If you want to do a uric acid cleanse, a refined sugar, whatever you want to cleanse out, you stop intaking. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay, so now we're going to go into, since we hit the physical aspects, we're going to talk a little bit about the, I've read that food in high purine will affect uric acid, which includes non-meat items. Meat items are the highest purine foods there are. The other ones, it depends what other purine, like eggs and cheese don't even have nearly as much purine, but it does have it. Purine is uric acid. Upon oxidation, uric acid is created. So upon digestion, uric acid is created. For hair loss, I did an entire video, but enemas and colonics have helped people. People have come to our retreat here with alopecia, and other issues. Just at this last retreat, her hair started growing back fuller, but she did the whole thing. She was doing vegetable juices, she improved her diet, and then she did the enemas. Anyway, moving on. So now we're going to get into the spiritual aspects of how to heal from disease naturally, spiritually. And yes, we're going to talk about the placebo effect. Now, people have healed from disease without any dietary change, without any medical intervention, without anything, from pretty much taking a pill with 0 active ingredients in it, a placebo pill, and they were told that they were going to heal if they took this pill. And based off belief, simply just from believing, they healed their disease with 0 active ingredients. This has happened with Parkinson's disease, IBS. They're in the medical journal. There's even stories on cancer, on so many things. They wholeheartedly believe that they were going to heal from disease that they healed. Now, the danger of the placebo effect is that it can also work against you. The reason why it worked in the first place is because you go to the doctor, they're an authority figure, they got their suit on, they tell you you're going to heal, you believe it, and you heal. But then also this same doctor, the MD, you go to the doctor, they're going to tell you, and they tell you that you have a thyroid disorder, or that you have fibromyalgia based off of symptoms, or that you have cancer in 6 months to live. This is the placebo effect working against you now. Tony Robbins, who in his early 20s went to the hospital, they told him he had a cancerous tumor on his pituitary gland. That's why he's so big and grew so big. They told him that they needed to put him on drugs and cut open his brain to do surgery. And what did he do? Most people would have freaked out, panicked, and obeyed the doctor and probably died in the amount of time that was allotted to him by the doctor's orders. But he said, no, I don't accept that diagnosis. He went and got 100 different doctors' opinions, and to this day, he still has this tumor in his brain. He doesn't worry about it. We freak out. Just like Kiki was worried about her digestive issues, we start freaking out. And in the law of attraction, it's stated that you manifest what you put your attention to. And it's very difficult to manifest what we do want, but it's extremely difficult to manifest it's easy to manifest what we don't want, but it's difficult to manifest what we do want. Because let's say you worry about your weight, you're putting all your attention and power and energy and fear and worry into that weight issue. You're manifesting that. You're doing the law of attraction. So when you have a disease, you're worrying like crazy about this disease. You're putting all your attention into it all the time, all day long, effortlessly. That's going to manifest. This is the placebo effect working against you. You actually are going to believe that you have this disease, and it's going to become part of your vibration, your frequency, because of the doctor diagnosed you. But Tony Robbins, he has a tumor in his brain right now. And it's like, hey, he doesn't worry about it. He's fine. 30 years later, he doesn't worry about it. So when a person takes the placebo pill, based off belief, there's no fear or worry could come into them anymore. They're told that they were going to heal, they're fine. They don't even worry about it anymore. So as soon as worry about their disease comes in, they're like, no, I took this pill, I'm totally fine. Unconsciously, they spiritually healed their disease. So what we want to do is reproduce the effects that the placebo taker does when they heal from their disease. And we want to reproduce it consciously. We want to create whatever's happening inside their brain and being. We want to duplicate that and try to heal our disease in the same way. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay. So for the person who asked, what kind of food can I take to keep my cancer away? What's the number one food that I could take to keep my cancer away? So what's happening right here is they're asking for a crutch. And what I mean by a crutch is like, they have so much fear and worry that their disease is going to come back that they want to take a food that is going to keep it away. And then what happens a lot of the time is when people end up with cancer or another disease and actually heal it, they have this worry and fear that it's going to come back. And so they end up relying on cancer-fighting foods, supplements, machines, the latest and greatest cancer-fighting machine. I know one woman who spent tens of thousands of dollars on many different machines, always doing research for the next thing. And it's all driven by that fear. And what you're pretty much saying is like, I don't believe that I'm completely healed because I need something in order to stay healed. Now, the placebo taker doesn't have to take anything ever again. It was a one-shot deal. They took that placebo pill and they're done, they're healed. They don't have to rely on anything. What if you can't have that machine supplement or food for 2 weeks because it's unavailable? Then that worry and fear escalates. So the placebo taker, they pretty much say, it's a miracle, I'm healed. They move on with their life. So what we want to do is duplicate this process. Okay, so okay, this is an incredibly important concept that I'm going to share with you right now. Let me get another juice. Okay. Let's take a look at your physical ailment right now. It could be anything from cancer to your little digestive upset. Physically, is it really that bad? If the fear and worry about your digestive upset, about your cancer, about your Crohn's, about any of your diseases in between, if the fear and worry was completely gone, with the physical ailment, the discomfort of it, that you have been you've been living with it day in and day out, you're completely acclimated to it, would it be that bad? If you knew that in the long run, there was no risk of dying or getting worse or anything like this, would it be that bad? Let's look at two people who have the same money struggle situation. This person almost had a near-death experience, and the money situation doesn't affect them. Every breath they're extremely grateful for. They live their life completely happy. But this person right here has the same money situation as this person, but is worried, is always in fear, getting in fights with their spouse, is worried about money, and they're in complete torment, while this person is completely happy, and they both are in the same situation. It is the torment that we are going through, the worry and the fear, that is causing the suffering. The physical ailment that you've already acclimated to probably isn't that bad when it's not coupled with the fear and worry. The worst case is we're gonna die. Does the worry and fear, so here you have this physical ailment, it can only get better or worse from here. Does the fear and worry state gonna help you get to where you need to be in any way whatsoever, or could it even do the opposite? Or could they be grateful for every single breath? If you're in that worry fear state, then you're gonna miss these things. You're like grateful for every second of your life, spending with your family as you like breathe in and like just see this existence. You don't know how much longer it's gonna last. You're just grateful for every second, enjoying every moment with your children, with your loved ones. But if you're gonna be in this rancid worry fear state, you're gonna miss all that. And the disease, the root of it, spiritually, is this rancid worry fear loop that we throw ourselves into. If we didn't even get diagnosed in the first place by going to the doctor, we might not even know we have an issue. The rancid worry fear begins when you start to feel a physical discomfort or some kind, but it's not too bad. You just keep it to yourself. But then you kind of express it to a family member or a friend, and then their mainstream worry comes in, and they're like, you need to go see the doctor, and then that fear and worry escalates. You go to the doctor. Now, they give you a blood test. Now, they tell you they have a thyroid disorder. Now that fear and escalate raises like crazy. Now, thyroid numbers, blood numbers, can change throughout the day, throughout the week, through the season. I've literally met someone, I know someone who would get a blood test and they were hyperthyroidism, and then a month later they'd be hypothyroid. Which one is it? Hello? Tony Robbins got 100 different doctors' opinions before he decided he wasn't going to do anything anyway. What is the doctor going to do anyway? Take out your thyroid? Give you a lower quality of life? I know many people who have removed organs and things like this. Go on drugs? Make your thyroid gland even more lazy and dependent on hormones? There was this one guy who was dying of cancer. He did chemotherapy, and he was on his deathbed. He went through so much suffering. He said he wished he would have never gone to the doctor, and he would have just lived at home and taken the risk there. Maybe he'd still be alive today like Tony Robbins. So what we want to do is duplicate the procedure, we want to duplicate what the placebo taker goes through. All of a sudden, they take this placebo pill, worry and fear their disease comes in. They're like, nope, I don't accept that. I've already healed. I'm perfectly fine. Nothing can get in. So what we want to do is match that, I guess we could say frequency, vibration. We want to get to the point where we have no worry or fear about our disease. Because what we do is we loop it, and it's just, there's no like battle whatsoever. For example, have you ever experienced when you're just sitting there and the spiritual intensity comes over you and these demented thoughts start running through your brain, and they're so potent and powerful to where you almost feel like they're your own, but that spark inside of us doesn't want these crazy thoughts to be looping around, so we do everything in our power through focus and attention, and till we get through it, till these thoughts start and they subsist and stop. So this is kind of giving us an understanding of what we need to do with this worry and fear when it comes in. For example, many of us have gotten angry in public on the inside from something that happened, and our children are right there, and we don't want to react. So we focus and put our attention into this process of not overreacting, getting angry, and throwing something against the wall. We have mastered in situations when needed how to control our anger. It comes in, and you want to get angry, but you just say no, and you just focus until it dissipates, until it's gone. The anger's gone. So now we have to duplicate that process with the fear and worry about our disease, or our weight issue, or our skin when we stare and look in the mirror, or whatever it is. Because otherwise, if you allow the loop of this worry and fear and these thoughts to just take you over without any spiritual battle whatsoever, you're going to manifest through the law of attraction by putting all of your attention and energy into something you don't want. So it's almost like you're fighting for your life here. Is to get rid of this worry and fear. Another example is judging. Maybe you're at a family dinner, and then all of a sudden, a lot of people watching right now are health eaters. They bring out the Domino's pizza with the pepperoni on it. It's all greasy. They bring out the white pasta, and then for dessert, they bring out the chocolate cake with everything. And you look at the food on the table, and the first reaction is probably you're going to want to judge. And then the spiritual intensity gets so intense that it almost feels like you're judging, but you're like, no, and then you're doing everything in your power not to judge. You're fighting against this spiritual intensity that's coming in on you. So the fear and worry of your disease, just like anger, is going to come in, but you just don't, and those, just like those demented thoughts come in, you want to do everything in your power to not go into, kind of like see a separation there. Now, when you're sitting there not judging, and you're doing this, you're focusing and not judging, you're succeeding. You're not judging. When this fear and worry comes in, and you're not like going into it, but it feels like it, because of the spiritual intensity, you're just like, but you're sitting here, you're like, no, and you're doing the fight. As long as you're in the fight and the battle, you're okay. You're not manifesting what you don't want. You're not judging. But if you do lose your focus and you just become lazy and you don't want to deal with it, and then all of a sudden you just start looking at all the food and now you're straight out judging. And then everybody at the table is going to feel your judging daggers. And it's very uncomfortable for them. But if you can maintain your focus and fight the judging of all this food on the table until the end, then everybody at the table will probably learn a thing or two from you on a spiritual level. So when fear and worry come in, we have to master, it might take time, but we have to master to not go into those loops of unconscious worry. Because now you're just, it's almost like you're being, it's just like we'll call it you're manifesting what you don't want. But it's a major energy thing. Like, you just gotta, like, it's pretty much comes down to that. To duplicate the procedure that the placebo taker goes through is to eliminate fear and worry about your disease. It's that simple. And then you learn, that starts to work across the board for everything to grow spiritually and become healthy physically and things like that. So when you could get to the point without the fear and worry, then the physical ailment isn't even that bad. If it wasn't coupled with that, you'd be so happy. It's almost like fun trying to, like, not have to go into worry and fear about it. Just like the person with the money issue, if they could just go out of fear and worry, the fear and worry is not going to fix their money issue. It's just going to hurt them. Okay. One more way is you can get help with this fear and worry mission that you're going on. Some people call it the source of all living things. Some people call it the highest spirit of all. Some people call it God. Some people call it the Creator. We can get help with this process of healing. Me personally, spiritually, I'm the biggest screw up there is. I screw up all the time. Like, it's almost like a joke how much I screw up. But I'm like trying, I'm always like putting myself into these situations where I'm not allowing fear and worry, and it's like a mission of mine. I'm always doing these things. And whenever my thought process goes off, I always say sorry, and I try to fix the situation. And that's probably my biggest top secret. I had to go through this process the difficult way. From when I was doing enemas every day for many years, I ran into an issue I talked about in my story or whatever. Instagram only has a minute. When it falls off, I'm gonna bring it back on again. So sometimes this spiritual intensity gets so crazy, the second thing I'll do is I'll ask for help. And in that moment in time, I might not get help. It might not feel like I get help. Maybe I do. I just don't know what form it comes in. It almost feels like the same intensity, but I never get bitter. But in the end, I always end up back where I was, maybe even stronger and fine. And I learn and things like this. The key is to never get bitter. It's more about being grateful for every moment there is. We have 18 seconds on here on Instagram. I'm just gonna put it right back on. Okay, so it says 8 seconds. And I'll give you an example real quick. As soon as Instagram goes off, right? 1, 0. Share. And then restart. Live. Nope. No. Live. Start live video. Okay. I gave this example last week and in my article. For example, it might not feel like you're getting help in that moment, but if a surfer is surfing and they have this huge crash, I'll let everybody come back on for a second. And they have a huge crash in a wave. If a surfer is surfing and they have a huge crash and they ask for help, they're not going to be, a hand's not going to come down, magically pick them up and throw them on the shore here. They'll probably do many somersaults as they hold their breath, and they'll probably get up alive and healthy, and they didn't have any issues. We don't know what form the help comes in, is what I'm saying here. And one last thing is, don't go looking for your already healed disease. To have a disease and pain in regards to that disease on an ongoing basis, you feel it on an ongoing basis, and then the next day to have it completely gone would be a complete relief, but also almost like unbelievable. And then sometimes we will be like, am I really healed? And then you'll go look at the place where you hurt and affected, like the affected area, and you'll take a look. You're like looking for it. It's almost like if you're looking in the direction of disease, law of attraction, you're going to manifest what you look at. So I had to learn this the hard way, and I think the reason was so I can help and teach others this process. Whenever I would look for the pain that was not there anymore, all of a sudden there would be a crazy spiritual intensity from anywhere from 10 minutes till a day or two, as I learned my lesson not to look. And so, but in the early phases, I was like experimenting with looking because I was trying to heal it. But once it's gone, we don't want to be looking at something that we don't want to. But this is where help comes into play also. And this is the magnificence of the placebo pill, because there's no need to look anymore. You're healed. It's like you just completely believe. So that's the key here, is to duplicate the placebo effect. Now, what are the reasons why the placebo effect might not work for people? One is they didn't believe. And maybe some people, they kind of like the sympathy aspect. They like their disease even though they say they don't, and they believe they don't, but deep down, they thrive off of it. I'm not saying that's like the sole case, but sometimes people don't want their disease to go because then it's their disease. They want to have sympathy and attention and things like that. Might result from childhood, might not result from childhood. Another thing it might be is maybe we're doing something that we shouldn't be doing. That's between that person and the creator, whatever you want to call it, the source, God, high spirit of all, whatever, everybody has different names for it. So maybe a person has gone off their path. Maybe they're taking advantage of other people on an ongoing basis. Maybe they are treating others unfairly. Maybe they're ungrateful for their life. So if a disease, sometimes a disease will get someone to change immediately. Like the fear and worry that maybe they start treating people better. Maybe they're not doing certain things that they were doing before. Someone's asking me to shout out their name. I won't shout it out, but I'll say it. It's, I don't know. Anyway. So, one key thing, the one question you might want to ask yourself is, if you healed from a disease, how did you get healed in the first place? Raw food diet? It's better to look at the spiritual reasons. How did you change? Did you become more grateful for life? If you're gonna be, what if you healed based off of a diet and you become dependent on it and you don't even like it? Then what? That's a crutch you're not gonna like. So what is it? Maybe you started treating people better? So many possibilities and scenarios. So I look at things like this. If you're doing everything in your power physically and spiritually, trying to be the best person you can do, asking for help, all these different things, what more can you do? You could go to the doctor and go on drugs, get cut open. Generally, this doesn't heal a person. It expedites the process of degradation of the human body, a lower quality of life. So is the physical ailment all that bad if it wasn't coupled with the worry, fear, and craziness that we all go through as human beings in our minds? All right, everybody. This is Matt Monarch every Tuesday night. I'm thinking of doing something a little different this week. I do articles every Monday. I still might do an article, but I'm thinking to have a little fun with some videos. I'm thinking of going into like a new, video, like a humor type thing. You'll see. I'm gonna do one this week. Maybe try to do 2 a week, and we'll see how it goes. TheRawFoodWorld.com is our website. TheRawFoodWorld.com. You can use the coupon code RAWFOOD7 for 7% off, and we also came out with a new shipping policy. There are certain products on our website that we aren't able to sell below a certain price. It's called MAP policy, minimum advertised pricing policy. It's the organosilica, the Kinti Essential, which I want to take right now, as a matter of fact. I always forget. And this is going to be an ongoing shipping policy. If you order Kinti Essential or Organo Living Silica, any of these brands, any product, you get free shipping on your entire order no matter what else you add to it. So it's kind of cool. People have been loving it. I put a newsletter out today. What else do I want to share? I think that's it. So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Let me look at news.therawfoodworld.com/live. Okay. And then we've got Facebook. Any last things? Can you say my name? Say my name, say my name. Kring is her name. This is Facebook. Thank you, everybody. And then, what's up, Tanny Raw? What else? Yeah. All right, everybody. Mwah. See everybody later.